Hello, so I'm gonna do the mixed girl tag, because I thought it was interesting, and considering that I'm mixed, yeah. So I, will just read the questions, I guess, and, answer them. And so there's 10 questions, and I'm gonna try to go through them really quickly so this video isn't, like, obnoxiously long. And you can see my very lovely tan lines. Right, so the first question is, what are you mixed with? And I'm mixed with Asian, Black, Brazilian, and Native American. I'm American, or I was born in the US, so I'm a United States citizen. My mom was born in Laos, and my dad was born in New Jersey, so yeah. And what ethnicity have you often been mistaken for? I always get Filipino, and I'm not Filipino at all. My mom is Lao, Thai, Vietnamese, Chinese, no Filipino there, and I always get mistaken for either Filipino or Filipino and Black. Sometimes I get weird things like Hawaiian or Mexican I've gotten, or like Hispanic, Central American I've gotten. I'm like, I don't think my features look very Latin, but okay. I'm also really short, so I feel like, well, I guess I don't really know, like, Latin women or Hispanic women are tall or not. I feel like a lot of people are taller than me. I'm 5'2", and my mom is like 5 foot barely. So yeah. Yeah, anyway, those Filipino mostly, and Filipino. I am Filipino. I mean, I am Black, but I'm not Filipino, and so I get mistaken for that mix, I guess. And was different, coming from different backgrounds, challenging growing up, and I would say yes, it most definitely was, because I grew up in upper middle class, white, predominantly neighborhood, or Caucasian, whatever you want to say, politically correct. So I grew up around white kids, basically, and there were Black people, there were some Mexican or Hispanic, mostly Mexican was mostly that kind of Hispanic people, and then there were some Asian people. There were some, like, Northern Asian, like Korean and Japanese, but few, very few. So I didn't really identify with, obviously I didn't identify with them, and there weren't very many, like, Laotian or Thai people, so there weren't very many Southeastern Asians, and I just never really, I guess I always hung out with the white kids, and I never really fit in with them, obviously, because I've always felt different. Not to say that I never, like, I got teased a lot for not, quote unquote, not liking Black people, but I don't think that was the case. It was just how, depending on who, like, you're in classes with, and blah blah blah, it just so happened most of the people in my classes were white, so that's who I hung out with. What's funny is my mom always, like, made fun of me, I guess. She's like, you always want to hang out with white people, blah blah blah. It's like, I don't really see it as that. I see it as hanging out with someone. If I get along with them, like, I'll hang out with them. It doesn't really matter what ethnicity or what color their skin is, I guess. But yeah, it was pretty challenging. Which background do you embrace the most? I guess my Asian side, just because, not for any reason in particular, more of the fact that I live closer to my mom's side of the family, and I don't get to experience that side of my ethnicity as much, especially growing up. We were, like I said, grew up around white, upper middle class, and there wasn't very much Asian culture or cultural things going on. Now I live in California, and it's everywhere, and it's great, and so I just feel like I identify with that side more, which is never to say that I deny that I'm Black. Obviously I don't, and I'm never ashamed of it, which I think is one of the next questions. So anyway, yeah, I feel like I identify more with the Asian side, even though I don't feel like I necessarily fit in more with the Asian side, if that makes sense, but yeah. And have you ever been teased for being different? Yeah, I was teased a lot. Because my name is Asia, so they would tease me about that, for being Asian in Asia, and I got all of the jokes, the Black jokes and the Asian jokes, so yeah, I was teased as a kid, and have you ever been ashamed of being multiracial? And maybe when I was younger, going through like grade school and stuff, but I don't think so much after that. It was kind of after that I felt more unique, I guess. And I kind of accepted who I am, I guess, so to speak. And do you feel that being mixed has its benefits? I don't know what kind of benefits necessarily this question, like, I don't think so. I mean, I feel unique sometimes and like I look exotic and whatever, but in terms of like certain things, I'm still considered like a minority, so I don't think that's a benefit at all. But yeah. And what makes being multiracial a beautiful thing? I think it's the exoticness, like the mix of 2 or 3 or 4 cultures. It's just all in one person, and you're very diverse in your background, and I think that's great. And um, physically, I guess, like a lot of people want to be tan. I don't know, so I don't have to worry about that. Like obviously, I tan, and I don't even really like to tan. Like I'm light. This is my natural skin color, and it's just started being really sunny, and so I've started wearing like t-shirts and tank tops, and so I'm getting like a weird tan, and it's like 3-tone. But yeah, um, I just got sidetracked. So I'll do the last question. Any advice to someone who struggles with their multiracial identity? I guess I don't really have any good advice, which is sad to say. All I can say is like be yourself. And that's cliche, but that's all I can say. And people will eventually learn to accept you for who you are. And if you live in an area that's more diverse culturally and more liberal, it's also people are also more open to that sort of thing. I feel like when you get stuck in more conservative areas, or maybe the South, or maybe the Midwest, it's a little bit. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. Never mind. So yeah, just be yourself and just try not to let what other people think or say about you. To try not to let it get to you so much. And I missed a question. Actually, is your hair curly or straight? I have very, very, very curly hair naturally, but I straighten it, and yeah, it's not like an afro. I wouldn't say that. It still has movement, and it still has a very distinct curl pattern. The curls are smaller, but my hair is pretty curly. And I style it, like, obviously, like, I'll do this, or, like, I'll pin it up. I always straighten it. I don't ever wear it naturally curly, especially since it's short, so I feel like it doesn't look good, but, yeah. Yeah, so that's it. I really enjoyed this tag, and, yeah, I got it from Miss Loopy Loutful. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was interesting, and I thought I would do it, and yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye.